welcome everyone to 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant.
And we are so thrilled and happy to be coming to you live out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The content continues via our website, 284media.com. In today's news, a territory-wide sick-out is now being planned to protest against the Speaker of the House of Assembly being exempted from paying legal fees incurred.
Diabetes Awareness Month kicks off. Madam President, Mrs. Jean Vanterpool, joined us live to discuss.
We also see the Virgin Islands being assisted by the UNDP with damage assessments.
Chamber of Secrets Girls Club host a movie night.
And the BVI Ports Authority senior officials engage stakeholders. We have all the details for these stories and so much more in today's edition of 284 News.
You value traditions.
Today,
You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. A terrific Tuesday to each and every one of you. We're coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And my name is Javon Wilson, of course, here with your daily dose of 284 News, local, regional, as well as international content, keeping you guys updated. Topping our headlines today, we see BVI residents planning another territory-wide sick-out to protest the Speaker being exempted from paying legal fees incurred from a failed injunction filed against the COI's lawyers. Now, viewers, the flyer being circulated locally says, and I quote, "Too sick about VIP's performance, too tired of empty promises, too upset over the territory's direction. Call in sick, get strong, take a stand," end of quote. Now, viewers, since learning of the sick-out, persons have taken to social media to express their opinions. One resident said, and I quote, "How could we say that the Premier is protecting our finances when he is even thinking of paying an individual's legal fees in a personal matter? What's the real issue here, please?" Another person opined, and I quote, "I am amazed that the UK COI lawyers committed a criminal offense and there is no outrage. Let it have had been a local, then we would have been we would have marched long ago," end of quote. And finally, viewers, another resident mentioning on social media, "I am not a VIP fan, but these course of actions are making no sense. All over the world is experiencing challenges from COVID. The BVI has done well in spite of the challenges," and of course, just quite a number of persons voicing their opinions on the upcoming sick-out that is staged for November 17th and 18th, I believe, of this month.
Most definitely, we see where even the government ministers have mentioned that in their opinion, democracy is alive and well,
Yes.
with persons being free to protest as they see fit. Continuing on the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands, the Chamber of Secrets Girls Club, led by Sergeant Jacqueline Tom Christopher as part of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force's Community Policing Initiative, held a successful movie night in the parking lot of the East End Police Station on Saturday, November 6th. Now, the movie night, which featured light refreshments, was the first of many public events hosted by the Girls Club and was extended to the East End community. Now, the Chamber of Secrets Girls Club was formed by Sergeant Tom Christopher herself to give girls ages 9 to 18 a forum to express themselves and learn about life through many activities and programs. She said, and I quote, "I created the Chamber of Secrets Girls Club because I saw that the young ladies in the BVI, especially within the East End community, needed some place that they could go to learn things. This group would teach them about life, values, and most of all, discipline." Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mark Collins, gave his support to Sergeant Tom Christopher and commended her for her hard work with the girls in the community. Now, the Girls Club expects to continue their community outreach with various upcoming programs and would like the full support of the community. Jovan, an absolutely beautiful story. Too often we, and I wouldn't say too often because our boys need a lot of support too, but oftentimes the support is pushed to the boys, sometimes forgetting our girls. And I think in a day and age, we need to collectively remember both boys and girls growing up need the support of a community, and it still takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely, and community, the key word there, the police station, of course, stepping out, reaching back, showing compassion and care for our young girls. So happy to see it. Viewers, as we move on, the Virgin Islands United Nations Development Program, UNDP, have held their second meeting on available UNDP assistance to the VI for recovery after a natural disaster. At a virtual meeting held on October 29th, the UNDP presented its household and building damage assessment, that is the HBDA toolkit, that can be activated after a hurricane to help local government authorities determine the extent of damages to their housing stock as well as economic losses to households. Now, viewers, the director of the Town and Country Planning Department, Mr. Greg Adams, welcomed the available assistance to the Virgin Islands and highlighted his department's official responsibility for damage assessments after a natural disaster. He also discussed the current status of the territory's damage assessment systems and learned lessons from Hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017. Now, viewers, at the conclusion of the meeting, it was agreed that UNDP and the VI would build upon their existing cooperation to include UNDP support to the government of the Virgin Islands for capacity building in the area of household and building damage assessment to help strengthen the local authorities' ability to perform this critical function after a natural disaster. Now, speaking on the importance of the meeting was the Permanent Secretary in the Premier's office, Dr. Carolyn O'Neill Morton, who expressed her gratitude to UNDP for their commitment to assist the Virgin Islands in the event of a natural disaster and to help build local damage assessment capacity that will support recovery, for which the Premier Office holds responsibility. Now, according to Dr. O'Neill Morton, she said, and I quote, UNDP's household and building damage assessment toolkit is highly effective and we are grateful that it is available to the Virgin Islands in the unfortunate event of a hurricane or earthquake. I am also very pleased that UNDP will be providing capacity building support to the government in this area. Our partnership is going from strength to strength, and that is assisting our local efforts to build greater resilience. End of quote. The VI delegation at that meeting included Permanent Secretary Dr. Carolyn O'Neill Morton, that is, the Director of the Town and Country Planning Department, Mr. Greg Adams, and Special Envoy to the Premier, Mr. Benito Whitley. The UNDP team included resident representative in Barbados, Mrs. Valerie Cliff, and UNDP Information Management Officer, Ms. Anila Kihea. They're on always nice to see us really building stronger relationships. When you think about the UNDP, they are really focused on a strategic plan to help countries bounce back, but also they focus a lot on resilience building. And I see in this continued partnership, of course, that continues to strengthen, of course, more and more benefits coming up for the BVI. So I'm really happy to see and acknowledge that we should be collaborating more with UNDP.
I agree, and in the final analysis, I think once we continue to strengthen our alliances across the region, I think that could only better suit the BVI.
Absolutely. Now, we are still ahead of the break. The BVI Ports Authority senior officials have engaged with some of these stakeholders in the territory and Jamaica Cabinet, approving a proposal for 7 years of secondary education. We have all the details after a word from our sponsors. Stick with us. Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. And now, just 2 weeks ago, senior management officials of the British Virgin Islands Ports Authority embarked on a series of meetings with stakeholders as part of an extensive public outreach program planned for the last quarter of this year. The ports team, comprising among others the Director of Finance and the Director of Operations, met with industry stakeholders across several different sectors, including ship agents and importers. The outreach program is designed to strengthen the partnership between the ports and its stakeholders, share updates on the work of the ports, ventilate issues, and overall promote dialogue on the current and future plans and programs of the Ports Authority in its goal to facilitate further economic growth in the British Virgin Islands. Now, among the specific matters discussed were cargo efficiency, upgrading of port infrastructure, and security. For their part, the stakeholders generally expressed a commitment to work in partnership with the ports to achieve a shared goal of economic revival and getting business back to capacity safely and securely during this ongoing pandemic. Now, the importance of the collaboration between the stakeholders and the BVI Ports Authority was also highlighted by Managing Director of the BVI Ports Authority, Mrs. Olivine Maynard, who stated, and I quote, "The stakeholders have been invaluable to the key accomplishments of the ports over the past few months. I am heartened by their willingness to engage us, pushing us to improve on our operations in several different areas because they know that our success is critical to their success. I am therefore encouraged by these sessions and I am committed to building on that collaboration going forward." End of quote. We also heard from the Director of Finance, Mr. Claude Kettle, who also participated in the meetings. He said, and I quote, "It is important to touch base with our stakeholders often because they are critical to the supply chain and economic engine of our islands. Ours is a partnership that realizes significant outputs which are helping to shape the port's operations for greater efficiency and port development. As such, we look forward to strengthening that partnership so that we can effectively confront the various challenges of this period." End of quote. Now, viewers, this new outreach program is an initiative by the BVI Ports Authority that will, of course, continue into the new year. The BVI Ports Authority, for those who may not know, is the managing authority for all official seaports within the BVI, inclusive of a 60-foot wide, 1,312 feet long cruise pier that can berth ships up to a maximum of 180,000 GRT. The safe arrival of seafaring passengers, as well as the reception, handling, and security of cargo and sea-based trade. Ron, I can reflect earlier in the year when we had quite a debacle with the BVI Ports Authority, and I think many of the stakeholders within the territory, as in the midst of a pandemic, many of those fees were raised without, I would say, efficient consultation
with the public, and
not having a conversation that is inclusive. I'm very happy to see that back then there was a very adamant pushback from the BVI community, and I think really what it's doing is it's forging a conversation and fostering a better relationship. So I must say kudos to the BVI Ports Authority umbrella, the family out there, in ensuring that we continue to build in an inclusive way.
And of course, continue the open dialogue as it pertains to pertinent matters. Viewers, we pan across to the region, to Jamaica, that is. A proposal for the establishment of 7 years of secondary education in Jamaica has been approved by Cabinet. Minister for Education, Youth and Information, the Honorable Fayville Williams, who made the disclosure while addressing Wednesday's October 6th virtual post-Cabinet press briefing, said this will allow all students to have access to learning opportunities in grades 12 and 13, which is also known as a sixth form. She said, and I quote, "The mainstreaming of a 7-year program of educational training and experience is expected to meet the needs of students more efficiently and effectively, and of course respond to local and international demands via the 21st century skills, competencies, and certification." Now, the Honorable Williams argued that as Jamaica seeks to become more globally competitive, it is imperative that the appropriate investments are made in expanding educational access, quality, and relevance to allow students to graduate with certification in their respective fields. Now, she said Cabinet also gave the approval for the public dissemination of the National Risk Assessment of Jamaica, the NRA, looks at Jamaica's anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism framework. Now, Cabinet noted that the approval and dissemination of the NRA also serves as a key step in Jamaica's action plan agreed with the Financial Action Task Force. Jovan, we see where the Cabinet of Jamaica has additional, this is going to be additional time. What is surprising is that we here in the BVI added 1 year, and it was not received very well by the general public, but we see where over in Jamaica they are now doing not 6 years, but 7 years, which would be an additional 2 years for us. But when we see, as was stated by the Honorable Minister, in an attempt to be globally competitive, and I think essentially make sure that the youth of Jamaica are graduating with the requisite skills they need to really be prepared in a working world are essential, and they have now seen it fit to have this additional, so it's now going to be 7 years. And it's quite interesting when we compare the regions and what different countries decide to do, like us here in the BVI.
Absolutely, and that is important for the transition as well, not only for college but to the adult world. But again, I think it really doubles back to the assessing the needs of your respective territory and seeing what works best, especially since we have had students who have been essentially displaced since the hurricanes of 2017 and now dealing with a parallel COVID-19. It's really important that we understand what their needs are and continue to meet those needs.
Absolutely. Viewers, up next, the Diabetes Awareness Month has kicked off. Madam President, Mrs. Jean Vanterpool, joins us live to discuss the upcoming event and USVI grades 4 to 12 to return to in-person learning in January of 2022. We have all the details of these stories up next after a word from our sponsors.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News, and now we pan across to the USVI, taking a look at education. School campuses in the U.S. Virgin Islands will be a bit busier in 2022 as students from grades 4 through 12 will return to in-person learning. Classes are expected to resume on January 10th, 2022. Now, viewers, the Education Commissioner, Ms. Raquel Berry Benjamin, said, and I quote, "It is the right time to begin moving forward toward a greater sense of normalcy for all of our students. Since new coronavirus COVID-19 cases in the territory have been declining and restrictions are being lifted, our students are thriving on campuses, which has been retrofitted to meet all of the requirements by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to meet all of the COVID-19 requirements," she said. Now, among the measures implemented at school includes plexiglass barriers for the desks, and you'll be seeing that soon, hand washing stations, automatic soap and hand sanitizing dispensers, temperature check instruments, safety signage, and designated isolation rooms. Students in pre-K through grade 3, career and tech education and special education return to classes on September 7th. Now, viewers, St. Croix's Superintendent Carlos McGregor said, and I quote, all students enrolled at the Lou Muckle Elementary School, Ricardo Richards Elementary School, Alfredo Andrews Elementary School, Pearl B, Claude Marco at the Juanita Garden Schools will attend classes in person 5 days a week. 7th and 8th grade students at the John Woodson Junior High School will attend school in person 2 days a week and 2 days virtually. Wednesdays will be set aside for deep cleaning. Now, viewers, 9th grade students attending the St. Croix Educational Complex and the St. Croix Central High School will have 4 days of in-person learning and 1 day virtual. 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students at both high schools will have 2 days of in-person learning and 3 days of virtual learning each week. Students at the Positive Connections Alternative Education site will attend school 3 days in person, and that will continue to alternate on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And we also look at students in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. They will have 2 days of in-person learning and 3 days of virtual learning each week. School cafeterias will be reopened with children being served at different times throughout the day. And of course, masks will be mandatory on campus. Students presenting COVID-19 symptoms will be tested using antigen tests once parental consent is given. And between 10 and 15% of the student population will be tested monthly as part of the COVID-19 survey to determine the virus's spread among students. Parents who decline testing must present a negative test after their child is quarantined. Ron, as we, of course, continue to look at the region, clearly COVID-19 is still a very fluid situation, but we have to continue to examine what other authorities are employing across the region, yes, and of course see what fits with us here in the Virgin Islands. The USVI has been on a tug and pull for quite a number of time, and we're just happy to see that hopefully in January 2022, our kids can return to school.
Indeed, and we continue to wish Commissioner Raquel and her team over in the USVI the utmost of success as they seek to reintegrate our students in a COVID era. As promised, we are joined, viewers, by Madam President of the BVI Diabetes Association. They have kicked off their month-long activities, of course, with the annual Elton George's Memorial Walk. Madam President, good evening, and thank you so much for your time. Welcome back to 284 Media.
Oh, thank you, Ron. It's a pleasure being here, and thanks for the opportunity to chair.
My pleasure. Now, as mentioned, the Elton George's Memorial Walk in honor of the late former Deputy Governor, but also a stalwart member and supporter of the BVI Diabetes Association, has kicked off the month-long activities. Before we get into the very jam-packed calendar that you and your association have put together, I want you to reiterate for us the role of the Diabetes Association here in the British Virgin Islands.
Okay, the Diabetes Association is here as an advocate, to educate, to promote healthy lifestyle, to also be there to support persons living with diabetes. And basically we've been doing that for over 40 years now. Wow. Because the association has been in existence that long. And we just continue to give support, educate, teach persons in terms of caring for persons with diabetes and diabetics of how to better manage their condition and given ideas of healthier choices, etc., in what they choose for diet-wise,
Mrs.
physical
Vanterpool,
exercise,
yes,
etc.
Would you say that the conversation as it pertains to diabetes in the Virgin Islands has become less taboo, or is it still quite a hush-hush situation? Are you finding that more persons are more inclined to come to the association for help, as well as engage in conversations as to how they could better their health?
I think it is getting less tabooed as time goes by reason of us being able to present the condition to the public and to let people realize that, you know, outside of having diabetes, you can live a normal, healthy lifestyle. You can have a healthy existence. And we've done that through various means. We've had seminars, we have had conferences, and that has exposed persons to what is available and how you can live and enjoy your living in a healthy manner. We've had diabetics as, young educators recently out of Canada. We've had another person who's lived with diabetes for most of her life, and she's a nutritionist. And we've invited them to participate and share their experiences, and as well as to give advice as to how to cope with diabetes in general.
Beautiful, and I'm happy to hear that, and congratulations, kudos rather, to the association for the amazing work that you continue to do. Now on to the list of activities that we have remaining for the rest of the month.
Thank you. We, as you mentioned earlier on, we had the Elton George's Run Walk, which was very successful. It's an annual event, and we thank all the supporters and our donors and contributors that made it such a success. We also want to recognize the winner of that. I don't know if we should say winner because we didn't really have a race as such, but the first person to return to base after doing a 5K walk was Lennon Dabrio. And we want to give him a shout out and thank him for participating and encourage others like himself to participate the next round of events such as that we'll have. Hopefully, it's annual, but we might be able to do some more of this in between the annual. So thanks to him. We also want to identify, this is the 9th, on tomorrow, we hope to be on ZBVI to share our information, but we also are looking at having the Paint the Town Blue on this Friday.
Beautiful.
So by the time you wake up in the morning, we should be finished decorating the town in blue as recognition for World Diabetes Day, which is on November 14th. But we are going to start, well, we have started activities to recognize the whole month of November as World Diabetes Awareness, so that persons know we're here to support and to advocate for persons living with diabetes and not to be further tabooed into hiding. So we have that on the 14th. We also have a health screening that we'll be doing at the Carrot Bay Seventh-day Adventist Youth Center on the 17th of November. It will be full health screening. We will also be doing through Nurse Block and I'm sure foot care, which is very important.
Yes, it is.
For persons who are diabetic in particular. Because, you know, sometimes people, if they're diabetic, you won't have the sensation or feeling that something is wrong with your toe or at the bottom of your foot. So foot care is a very critical and important part of diabetes care. So we will be providing that service as well. On November 19th, we will also be doing a health fair at the Noah Lloyd Positive Action Movement Park, but we will also invite the public to participate in wearing their sneaker. It's called Sneakers Day or Sneaker Day, if you want to put it that way. And we invite everyone to, instead of dressing up in your shoe, it's a Friday, come out in your sneakers, dress it up if you wish in recognition of diabetes awareness, and come on out, park where you can, a distance away, maybe the festival grounds, and walk to your offices where possible. We encourage that. So you can get in your 10K for the day in that effort. On the 23rd, we're going to be having a tech talk, so to speak. We're going to be talking more about, we hope to have a guest speaker coming in remotely, an endocrinologist, a doctor, and we're hoping to have this further information on it for the 23rd, which we would be inviting persons to join us at the Village Key Conference Center, where the presentation will be made. More to come on that. And then, of course, all of this month, there's a quiz night going on at Bambouche, where the quiz mistress, Julie Cooper, has kindly agreed to for the Diabetes Association to be the beneficiary of whatever is collected, and which will be matched by an anonymous or a private donor who, if we collect 5,000, they will match it with another 5. So we are inviting persons to come out and participate, enjoy the quiz, and also enjoy the general knowledge stimulation that you will get from that. In between that, we also have the Virgin Gorda group of our association will be joining in with the Lions Club to do a health screening there, and that I think will be on the 13th of November. We will also partner with the Health Service Authority in visiting to Just Van Dyke for screening as well. And also in the East End area, we will be also partnering there on November 24th. So there's a lot of action going on in our efforts to be a present group and a voice of caring and advocate for diabetes. We have done some screening at Rightway. We are hoping we will get permission to do that at Walmart in the next day or two. We are just waiting on approval. And so we continue to reach out to the community. And I tell you this, recently we conducted a screening, and we had one young woman, a young lady, who had such high readings for her blood sugar and her blood pressure, both out of whack.
Wow.
And we had to guide her or direct her strongly to head straight to her physician or healthcare provider to be managed, because she had ignored taking her medication for a while now. And these are the things that can put individuals into serious health compromise when you have your condition, your diabetes, your blood sugar out of whack, your blood pressure elevated. You never know. It could be devastating for someone like that. So this is what we do, and we often identify persons who need to be seen urgently by their medical provider and be treated. And we're happy we can offer this service. Persons can come into the center and be monitored. We can do that, blood pressure, blood sugar, and give you guidance and counsel as to the next step. And we thank, the community for their support in all of this, and your continued support would be great.
Absolutely. We are absolutely honored to have the BVI Diabetes Association still serving us for some 40 years. Definitely the work continues, the movement continues as we continue to really support the cause and all diabetics in the territory. Madam President, we are out of time, but before we go, I do want you to give the contact information, please, for the association, for persons who might want to reach out. How can they do so?
Oh, yes. Our telephone number is 494-4125, and Miss Rosie Dawson is there on Mondays to Fridays, Mrs. Rosie Leah Dawson, and also Miss Tony on other days. She assists us there. So there's somebody there Mondays to Fridays from about 8:30 to 4:30. Call us anytime, stop by anytime. We can give you whatever assistance we can, to help in whatever situation. Oftentimes we just, people do not have the cash to buy their strips, etc. We assist.
Wonderful. We thank you so much. Viewers, that is all the time we have, but we continue to encourage you to support the month-long events of the BVI Diabetes Association. I am Ron Grant. Do have a beautiful rest of the day. And of course, my colleague Joe.